All right, says we live. Hopefully. Boom, boom, boom. All right. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Zoe with No Days Off DFS here to go over today's huge 6-game slate. We got a big one on today. 6 games, doing something a little bit different. Actually, doing a live to go over, the DFS plays, to go over and do some prop plays and stuff like that. Of course, to talk props and give his breakdown and stuff like that. I got my boy BK joining me as well. The dedication that he has to be on here doing this today, I want you guys to understand this. He's at work, but he's going to be popping in and out to be able to drop some notes and things like that. This is what we normally do on the regular. Whenever we post our content and stuff like that, we be sitting in the chat almost majority of the day, just sitting here going over stuff and everything. So good to have him. My boy Jay might be popping in every now and then as well too today. So you're going to see a couple of faces in here that's going to be able to join the stream, be able to give us a little something as well or anything like that. So hopefully you guys can see this. What's up, Ace? If the volume is good, everything's good, just let me know down in the chat before we go ahead and start breaking stuff down. You guys already know what time it is. Drop a like on the video if you guys are tuning in. Let's run this up. It's been a minute since your boys done a live stream and whatnot. You guys see it in the background. You see the Dallas Wings. Man, dang, it's been a minute since I've done a live. Oh, there go B. It's popping back in. Boom. Tell him what's up, B.
Yo, what's good? Let's get money today.
I got the one of the goats here on the chat with me, man. That's gonna be good. All right, so like I normally do over here on the channel, we're gonna go ahead and break down the injury report for today. 6 games, so you know it's a lot. At least the games are spread out for once. We're not looking at 4 games starting at 7 o'clock and then the other 2 games both starting at 10 or whatever. It's a little spread out. I'll give them that. They did something. But today, the huge stakes on the line, depending on who you ask and where you look at it, is that it's the last day for Commissioner Cup. We're gonna go over the scenarios, which, in all honesty, the West has a bigger implication of the scenarios than the East. The East, it just doesn't matter. It does not matter in the East at all whatsoever. But record-wise, for their record for the whole season, that's what's going to matter for these teams. So they will still, of course, hopefully come to play and things of that nature. And you never know. With 2 of the teams that are going up against each other for making it into the Commissioner's Cup, they're playing at the same time. So it's not like it's going to matter too much for them. They should go out here and give it their all when it comes down to it. So starting out on the injury report, Atlanta, clean bill of health. Nothing. I haven't seen anything pop up for them throughout the night or anything. New York Liberty, that's where we finally got that news yesterday. Sandy Brondello, she said that Jonko Jones, she's expected to be back, expected to play, and on no minute limitation. No minute limitation. If we do got full-fledged, full-go Jonko Jones, this should be a good spot for her going up against Brittany Griner and the way she stretched the floor, and I can't wait to break that down when we get over to DraftKings. Other news that we got to remember, though, Liana Fibic, she's gone. She went overseas to go do her obligation, so we are going to see a shakeup in the starting lineup. I imagine that RotoWire has it right. We should see Kennedy Burke slide into the starting lineup. We've seen her do this a couple of times already to start the season, where she has slid into the starting line. So I wouldn't be surprised if it is Kennedy Burks here in this spot. Over here for the Connecticut Sun, taking on the Indiana Fever. For them, just Sinai Rivers, she's listed as a game time decision. She was listed as a game time decision last game. She went through her warm-up, all that good stuff, ultimately was listed available to play. She just did not play. DNP coach's decision. They ran a pretty tight rotation, which surprised me in that last game going up against Chicago. But Sinai Rivers, from everything that I've seen with her being on Instagram Live and everything, I think she's fine and good to go. Like, she out there with Mabry, they out there having a good time and whatnot, playing around and stuff of that nature. So to me, Sinai Rivers, she's good to go. No issues should be there. And I would imagine that they might stick with the starting lineup because it looked pretty good with J.C. Sheldon being out there. And you dropped it in our personal chat talking about that. This is the actual rivalry. This is the true rivalry. Bump Angel Reese, bump Paige Becker. The rivalry between J.C. Sheldon and Caitlin Clark is the real one. So excited to see that if you guys watch the women's college ball and stuff. On the Indiana Fever side of things, DeWanna Bonner has already been listed out for today's game. Other than that, no news. And Bonner, not like she was a starter, she was playing off the bench, 20-ish minutes that she was playing. Those minutes should honestly go over to Cunningham. I would imagine that we're going to see a bump in minutes for Cunningham on today's slate. Golden State Valkyrie taking on my Dallas Wings. This is where we're going to get these shorthanded teams, and I cannot wait to break this down when we get to the DFS side of things. Tiffany Hayes, big thing for her. She's a game-time decision. She's been up and down on this injury report all season, and it's funny. We joked about it to start the season was that Tiffany Hayes, if she's healthy, and it was a huge if she stays healthy, she's a great player. She should be phenomenal. But of course, once again, those injuries, those knees, the head, the nose, everything has been plaguing her. And it's going to suck because Golden State Valkyrie are shorthanded. The downside of having a team that has so many, and it's weird to say, but so many international players, those international players are going to go play for their international teams. Fag Bentley is the latest one that just recently left. She's going to go serve her overseas obligation. Salon is gone. Julie Van Loo is gone. Zena Lissini is gone. So they are shorthanded. They did pick up some people. Bibby was the recent Chloe Bibby was the recent signing that they just got over here for Golden State. So interesting. It's going to be a shakeup in the starting lineup. I imagine with Fag Bentley being gone, we should see Mo Billings, Mo Money getting the start over here for them, and it makes sense, especially when you look at it. 3 of the players over here for the Golden State Valkyrie play for the Dallas Wings, and it's crazy. Veronica Burton, Kayla Thornton, and Mo Billings, man. On the Dallas Wings side of things, we just got the news yesterday. We are losing Maddie again for several weeks. Dallas, it sucks. It sucks. We are our quote-unquote best center just left to go play overseas with G. She just left. Big T's already been gone, but she was honestly just dragging ass anyway before she left, and hopefully she'll be gone. But we did make a pickup. We traded and we got Lee from the Seattle Storms, and I'm excited to see how that's going to be. Granted, she's only had a couple of practices and stuff with the team, so it'll be interesting to see if she actually gets some decent run. But the way I see it, she's going to have to play. They obviously do not trust Melissa Smith. She hasn't shown us any upside and things of that nature. And you can only play Misha Hines-Allen so many minutes before you really do need to get a different face and a different body down there, which we should see some decent run over there for Lee. But definitely Dallas Wings, it's going to be interesting and be able to pick some pieces over there from that game. Las Vegas Aces taking on Minnesota Lynx. We got the news early already that Asia Wilson is going to be out once again. Big thing to me is that the Aces changed the starting lineup. Instead of going ahead and starting what was her name? For the Aces. Instead of starting Kitley, there we go, Kitley. Instead of starting Kitley, they went ahead and they started Tiffany Mitchell, moved Jackie back to the 3. Moved Jackie, quote unquote, down to the 4. Had Jewel Lloyd at the 3. Tiffany Mitchell was at the 2, and Chelsea Gray was at the 1. It'll be interesting to see if they go with that again here, going up against the Lynx. I hope they don't, because Tiffany Mitchell is one of those players that I do truly question. Why are you still in the league? Like, literally, why are you still in the league? It doesn't make sense. You have not been good in oh so long, but pay attention to Las Vegas Aces. We do have to get that starting lineup and things over there for them. Minnesota Lynx on their side, pretty much clean bill of health besides Jessica Shepard being out. Washington Mystics, clean bill of health for them as well. Shakira Austin, I see some notes and news that her minutes are expected to continue to go up. Maybe we might see Dolson move to the bench, and we can get we can finally see the Kiki and Austin starting front court. That would be interesting to see over there for them. Chicago Sky, of course, we already know that they're without Vanessa and they're without Mariah Jefferson over here. And then Seattle Storm taking on the Los Angeles Sparks. No news for the Seattle Storm, which is good for them. Then on the Sparks side of things, we got the word that late in the evening, Kelsey Plum is going to be out now. Plum is going to miss the game. They already are going to be without. They're already going to be without Odysseus Sims, so they are going to be shorthanded over there for the guard room. That's just going to boost the usage to me, in my eyes, for Derek Hamby and Rakia Jackson. Maybe we can get a good Rakia Jackson game. She's been playing pretty well over her last several games, so definitely excited to see if that's going to continue right here in this position and spot. And that's going to do it for our injury report. Looking on over to DraftKings like we normally would. Boom, boom, boom. If you guys haven't already, make sure you guys drop a like on the video. Let me know down in the comment section. Taking a quick detour real quick. Down in the comment section, what y'all think about them Thunders in that win last night? What y'all think about that J-Dub? That was on fire last night, man. That was That was amazing. And all honesty, to me right now, watching the Thunder play, and you guys know I like to go on my tangents. Watching the Thunder play, it is reminding me kind of Boston, on how Jason Tatum, he's the de facto star over there for Boston, and Jaylen Brown is the second auxiliary piece. But in the finals last year, we got to see Jaylen Brown was the more consistent one. He was the one that carried them over the hump in the finals last year. To me, it's the exact same thing right now for the Thunder. Dub has been pretty consistent, solid. He's been the one that you can go ahead and continuously rely on. And I got Dub for finals MVP. He goes out there and closes it out just like what he did last night. I'm not saying he has to drop another 40, but if he can go out there and do primarily what he just did last night again on the Pacers floor, there's no doubt in my mind that man wins finals MVP. Like he's going to win finals MVP, man. He is. Like that was game one repeated again, and it should have been a closeout. What'd you say, B? Oh, all right. So going ahead, let's going ahead looking at the breakdown. Starting out with Connecticut Sun on their side taking on the Indiana Fever. Let me see if I don't got updated Vegas lines to see the spreads and totals for these games. Looking at it, this is a 165.5 total. Surprisingly, this is the highest total on the slate, but the largest spread, 18-point spread. There's no doubt in my mind that Indiana Fever, they should be able to cakewalk the Connecticut Sun. They should. Like there's no doubt, unless Tina Charles completely turns back the clock to like her first 2 years in the league and Marina Mabrey just goes uber efficient. There's no way in hell that Connecticut should come in here and be able to beat Indiana. They shouldn't. Is the key to that right there. So so looking at it to start on the Connecticut Sun side of things, we got Tina Charles, Marina Mabrey, of course, that's where all the usage and everything's going to be over here for them. I don't mind either or to be different as a possible pivot or something like that to get yourself off of some of the higher owned studs that'll be on the slate.
What you talk about? What game you talk about?
I'm on the Connecticut Suns looking at them. You about to do another stop?
Let me start, bro, because I got to jump out this motherfucker like every 3 to 5 minutes. So.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Like he was saying, for me in this game, we definitely got to look at the matchup with Caitlin Clark. Don't go off of history from last year because last year you got to remember Dejanay Carrington, Alyssa Thomas, Wnba Dfs, all like that whole squad was stacked last year, and this is a totally different team. J.C. Selden versus Caitlin Clark is a real thing. They definitely don't like each other, and every time they met, Caitlin Clark always busts her ass. So I definitely will look at her points today. I know people are big on her assists, which I don't hate, but I would definitely look at her points today because she's going to be trying to give J.C. Selden buckets today, like buckets galore. So I love that spot for her. I really still like the spot for Mabrey as well. I mean, if you think about it, her and Tina Charles is pretty much that whole Connecticut Sun team. So I don't hate Mabrey. I do like her 21.5 PA, her 3.5 assists as well. Also, Tina Charles, I still think her PR is still too low. 23.5 is still kind of crazy, man. I like the spot for her. Centers have done well versus Indiana, so I do like the spot there for her. Boston, we talked about Boston last night. Even through her PA in the lineup last night with the protection play that we got, I just didn't get a chance to post it. It got bumped before I even got a chance to post it. But her PA is still at 17. I still think that's a really great prop. Honestly, I'm still looking at it as my pick of the day today. She definitely should cover this easily. I mean, look at what she was doing when Caitlin Clark was out. And you got to think about it. All those screen handoff passes that she's going to get to Caitlin today, she should cover her assist and her PA pretty easily. Natasha Howard, I think, is a sneaky play. I know she's been asked the last couple of games, but I don't hate it today. I think she's like 5'6", 5'3" on FanDuel, so I do like the price over there. Other than that, I didn't have a whole bunch. Lexi Hose, somebody that you can also look at as well. But I think with the squad kind of being back at full strength, with the exception of Wnba, who really don't do shit no way, um, it's kind of a downgrade for her. But I do like Lexi Hole as a sneaky play as well today. Other than that, that's pretty much all of everything that I'm on today in this game. Oh, the one thing I did note is that in the last 5 games, Boston went over her PA in the last 5 or 7 games and had 37 fantasy points in 5 or 7 games as well. So I like her fantasy points and her PA today. If you don't want to play bumps, because I know people don't really like playing bumps, if you don't want to play the bump, then you can also take her fantasy points. Like I said, it's at 31 and a half, and she's had 37 fantasy points in the last 5 or 7 games. So definitely can look at that. Go ahead, take it from here, Zach.
All right. So looking at it from the Connecticut side, literally kind of going to reiterate almost everything that he just said. But again, it's going to be Tina Charles, Marina Mabry. They've already played Indy once this season. Caitlin Clark did not play in that game, but they did play versus Indy. In that game, Tina Charles went out there. She played 34 minutes, only had 20 fantasy points in that outing. But when you look at it, I want to say she just didn't have any other peripheral type stats out there for her. No rebounds, really, a couple of assists, and 11 turnovers was also the big key factor over there for her. She did have 18 actual points, so she can actually go out here and score going up against Boston, which we have seen it. Like Tina, she's going to take her shots, just like what she did going up against Cardosa and going up against Angel Reese. She's taking close to 15, 18, 19 shots almost on the nightly and regular for them to stay inside these games. So Tina at 10-5 is definitely more of a GPP pivot and option. I don't necessarily like it, especially with how large the spread is, but we have seen that they will continue to let these players play when it comes down to it. It's not like the NBA where the game is 20 points down, then they're going to pull some of their players. They'll still let them go out there and run the course. Marina Mabry, she went off in that game going up against the Indiana Fever in that 37 minutes. And Mabry is playing a ton. Practically did not come off the floor going up against Chicago out there. 22 points, 6 turnovers were the only thing that truly did kill her. She could have had a much better night, and definitely if she was a little bit more efficient out on the field. But versus Indy, she was 10 of 17 in that game, 4 of 9 from 3, dropped 47.25 fantasy points. And I kind of think the addition of J.C. Sheldon being out there in the starting lineup somewhat helps. To me, in my eyes, whenever I look at it, with Rivers being out there, the spacing, the passing, all those things was not always the best with her being out there. So I do like Rivers coming off the bench much better in that regards, unless try to use Rivers as a point of attack defender going up against Caitlin, like her as a step down option, and a possibility to go ahead and get her if you're trying to look for a miniature stack, taking maybe a Mabry and a Caitlin Clark or something like that. The upside is definitely going to be there. Everyone else over here for me on Connecticut, they are all just straight up GPP. I don't see myself needing to go there or get there. Allen, she's barely playing in minutes. Sanaya Rivers, she's coming off the bench, 6,400. You have to hope she's going to get her blocks or steals and stuff like that in order for her to even give you value, especially at 6,400 when you have better value on the slate, especially at the guard position. Olivia Nelson, the Dota, she's there. Not necessarily a player that I like to roster, especially when she's in that 6K-ish range. The minutes, they need to tick up a little bit more. I want to see her closer towards like that 28 minute mark, close to 30. And definitely see her string together some decent outings would be the only thing for me. 29 minutes versus Indy last time, 23.25 fantasy points. That's okay, but that's not something that I want, especially when I know there's some good value today at the forward position. Sheldon, she would be a straight-up pivot, a mid-tier option that you can get to. If she can go out here and have the same upside like what she just did in this last game going up against Chicago Sky, which it's the Chicago Sky. Most guards do go off going up against them. Then definitely something that you can look towards. Stole the ball pretty well in the last game. Going up against Indy, though, she only played 16 minutes, had 5.5 fantasy points. So it makes her very much a GPP option right there. Murrow, not playing enough minutes. Hartley, I don't think there's anyone's hair that she'll be able to pull in this game. So not necessarily looking towards her right there, especially with Sheldon being in the starting line. She actually is assuming a lot of those point guard role duties are right there for her. There in that 5,400, I'd rather her be down close to like 48 for me to feel comfortable wanting to roster her. Everyone else, there's no need to even go there or mess with that on that side. On the flip side of things, looking at it over here for Indiana, Caitlin Clark, I don't even have to talk about it. Caitlin, you look at it. Besides the rivalry that she has going up against J.C. Sheldon, like besides that right there, we already know that the media is going to be so focused on this game because Clark is now going up against a team that Angel Reese just dropped her 2 of 7 field goals made, triple-double versus. So the box score stats, the box score watchers, the Caitlin Clark clan, they're going to be out for blood in regards to what Caitlin's going to do to compare her to Angel Reese and what she just did. I do believe that Caitlin pays attention to noise, and she knows what she's doing with some of the stuff that comes out and everything with this whole rivalry and everything that they do. She's going to go out here and perform and do what she has to do in order to go ahead and win this game. But on top of that, we see that she can crush in 30 minutes. She can crush completely. Came back, did not miss a step in regards to just the being out from her injury. 61.5 fantasy points against what is considered a tougher New York Liberty defense. Now you're getting chopped chicken going up against the Connecticut Sun, who honestly do not have a candle that they can hold against you. I do see a triple-double in the cards tonight for Caitlin Clark. Just 110%. I don't see how she doesn't go out here and actually get one versus Connecticut, and I just love the upside for her. Besides that, we already know Boston plays 10 times better having someone that can actually get entry pass to her. In Caitlin Clark. Clark being back boosts Boston to me significantly. She plays just 10 times better, and it's amazing. And she has actually played decent going up against Connecticut, even in the game where they didn't have Clark. 26 minutes in that game, she dropped 36.75 fantasy points. Not scared of Tina Charles at all. I'm not necessarily expecting the assists to continue to be as high as what they are, even though Indy is a team that does like to share the ball quite well. They look for the cutters. They play fast and in pace and everything like that. But Boston, I do like the upside for her. Definitely would be something I could take if you are trying to find a nice alternative option at the forward position. Kelsey Mitchell, a little bit too pricey for me at 8,600. She has to have an uber high scoring, efficient night for her to be there. Natasha Howard definitely would be a GPP option I could see myself getting behind and going to, especially with no Bonner being out there. Maybe could somewhat solidify some more minutes for her coming into this. Last time going up against Connecticut, 27 minutes, only 20.5 fantasy points. She should be someone that can benefit from having Caitlin Clark being able to get her some passes and stuff as well, especially if she decides she wants to play in that mid-range or down the low post. Besides that, with Bonner being out, I think that's going to boost Sophie Cunningham. I really do actually think Sophie Cunningham should see those minutes that would normally go to Bonner and be able to play what we just saw last time going up against New York, where she's out there playing 25-ish plus minutes. Only thing is, we got to hope that Sophie's going to be able to knock down a shit ton of shots in order for her to pay off that 6,300. Everyone else over here, no interest, no dice, nothing for me. I really don't like to go there at all for them. Real quick, for betting wise, would you take the spread for Indiana? They are a minus 18 right now.
I can see it. Because Indiana is definitely the better team. Yeah.
I mean, we do know that Commissioner's Cup, they do try to
get a lot of production from Tina and Mabry today for them to cover that spread. So no, I like the Indiana spread. I like that's a lot of points, but I can get behind
it. Is 18. All right. So, of course, bet-wise, I know Indiana should 10,000% cakewalk this, be able to get it. They're playing at home. One of the things that you can definitely look to, which if Jay was on here, he might be able to attest to it. I know he normally keeps track of these type of numbers, but looking at Connecticut's first half total, what their total points would be, maybe taking an under on something like that. If you do think that Indiana just goes on a run and a roll and just really keeps the ball out of Connecticut's hands, or either Connecticut's just missing a whole lot of shots and things of that nature, maybe looking at a under on the first half total for them right there. That would be something to keep an eye out on and for over there. All right. Head on over to Atlanta, taking on New York. Starting out with the Atlanta side. Looks like you're about to do another delivery, so I'll go ahead and I'll start listening.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
All right. So starting out with the Atlanta side, looking at it for them. Ryan Howard, Alicia Gray, Brianna Jones, Brittany Griner, Jordan Canada. We know that's going to be a starting line. Canada finally had a huge game last time out going up against going up against the Washington Mystics. 21 minutes, well, not that one. Against Chicago Sky. That was the game I was looking for. 29 fantasy points in that game. Bounced back again, dropped her minutes down to 21, but the game was shoot as efficient in that matchup going up against them. But still, She's out there. She's playing her defense that we know she can give you the upside for. 6,800. The price has dropped just a little bit. More of a GPP filler an option. To me, when it comes down to it, looking at the Atlanta Dream, it's going to go as far as the consistency that Alicia Gray continues to give us at 10-3. I like her here in the spot. I don't mind her. I think that she should have to deal with the Sabrina spot here, unless they do decide that they want to put Natasha Cloud to antagonize and deal with Alicia Gray. But I would imagine that Cloud should possibly be trying to hamper and mess with Ryan, unless they're gonna actually truly just have Kennedy Birch out there trying to deal with that. But either way, I do like Alicia Gray at 10-3. Another GPP option, should be low owned with some of the studs and the pay up options that we do have on the slate, and she's just shown a steady floor of consistency when it's come down to it on the season. 52.75 fantasy points in that last game. Amazing upside and everything for her, and definitely would be the one that I would like to get to over here on the Atlanta Dream side when it comes down to it. Outside of that, the bigs over here, Brianna Jones, Brittany Griner. I don't necessarily like either one of these guys in this matchup that they have going up against New York. Brianna Jones, we've seen it. She's been up and down, left and right. She's going to have to go out there and deal with Brianna Stewart on the opposing side. This could be one of those games where I think we will see a bit more of the Nas Hillman and Nia Coffey getting those burns and run. Brittany Griner, I am completely off. 8,200 GPP option play only for me. I'm actually looking at taking her unders, her PRA under, her fantasy point unders over on Prize Picks and things like that, just because she has not been able to show up in these last couple of games, and I don't think that she's going to be able to show up here, especially when you're going up against two bigs in Brianna Stewart and Jonquil Jones, who stretch the floor. Jonquil Jones is not a big that's necessarily going to be sitting inside the paint, taking those faders or anything like that. She can, but her first option, she is a 5-out big. She is going to stretch the floor. So I do like the fact that she is going to be pulling Brittany Griner away from the basket. I think those rebound chances are going to be down. And then also just the defensive intensity that both Jonquil Jones and Brianna Stewart bring. I don't see BG being able to have a decent day going up against either one of these guys here in this matchup. So for me, it's going to be a fade on Brittany Griner. More definitely GPP on Brianna Jones. 9,600 is just a bit expensive to me. Alicia Gray will be the main one that I just think definitely is going to be the main play that I want to get to over here for Atlanta if I was to take one. And then Ryan Howard, if you want to look at it, she somewhat has a pattern going on in her last couple games. Bad game, good game, bad game, good game, good game. So maybe we're due for another good game here for her going up against New York. If she's knocking down a shit ton of threes, which we do know she does take a ton of those, this could be one of those spots right there for her. Pow, Cadwell, all these other guys, GPP options, nothing really sticks out that I want to get to over there. Looking over here on the New York side of things, though, they're getting Jonquil Jones back. If you're going to tell me that we have a full-fledged, full-go Jonquil Jones, I do like the upside for JJ here in this spot. Again, like I just said, you're going to be dealing with a drop big in BG. She should definitely have the foot speed, the upside going up against that all day, every day, twice on a Sunday. Centers going up against Atlanta. They've been doing pretty well. We just saw Cardosa. They had one of her more efficient games of the season where she just dropped 33.25 fantasy points. Tina Charles was able to drop 29.5 fantasy points. Azrae Stevens, 31.75 fantasy points. Besides Cardosa, most of those centers can actually can shoot the ball, and they shoot it pretty well and decent. So I do like the upside from taking Jonquil Jones at a 10-1. I think that people are going to be scared off of that price tag for one, the fact that she's coming back off of injury. So that should put her ownership low in this position spot. Everyone else over here for me, Sabrina Ionescu, Natasha Cloud, all of them, I'm not too interested in chasing and going to them. Natasha Cloud's been very much just mid as hell over her last several games. I really just have no interest. I can't believe how far she's fallen down since the start of the season. It's crazy in that regards to how she's just dropped off the face of the planet and the earth with that. Now, if we are going to get Kennedy Burke starting at that forward spot at the 3, that's a decent 5,700 option if you were to land there. Last option that you got to put in. You don't have anything else. You want something from this game. I could see myself going with it and just hoping that she could etch her way to going and getting me a 15 plus fantasy points. But even then, her price is a little bit too much. I would rather get like a 20 to 25 from her. And I'm not too sure we'll get that upside from her here in the spot. But the minutes should be secure. She should be there for it. That's just something to keep track of. Baby Sably at 6,900. Please do not play that right there. Unless they say that unless you got an Oracle ball and you can see that Sably's still going to play like 25 minutes, there's no way in hell I'm playing that much for Sably. Like 31 minutes, drop 33.75 fantasy points. Other than that, she should drop right back down to her 15 minutes type thing. And at 6,900, that is way too expensive. She's priced up as if Jonquil Jones is still out. Do not fall for the trap. Do not do that to yourself. Please don't. Please don't. Interesting play that I did like for prop wise and things like that for me on Atlanta. I was looking at Alicia Gray for her points, her fantasy points, and her rebounds. Those were three that I was really interested in. Brittany Griner, again, I already talked about it. Her unders were really what is sticking out to me. And potentially, I'm still on the fence about it because I'm not sure how I feel about Ryan, but I was looking at possibly taking an under on her PRA. Those were the ones that I was looking at over there. On the New York side of things, really, it was just Jonquil Jones, her points. That was one that I was really looking at, potentially take a chance on. And then, depending on how ballsy you are, if we think Natasha Cloud stays in the rut that she's in, Natasha Cloud under on her PRA was what I was looking at over there on that side for that. Looks like I lost B, so I'm just going to keep on going over here to the next game. Washington taking on Chicago. If anyone has anything, drop down in the chat. Let me know. Since it's just me, I'll be able to just go ahead and speed straight through. So any questions you guys got, go ahead and drop them down in the comment section. If not, I'm just going to keep it rolling and going. All right. Washington Mystics taking on the Chicago Sky. This should be a good spot, a good game. I like both sides of this because you got double queens going up against each other in Kiki and Angel Reese. Definitely think this is a bounce back spot for several of the players over here on the Washington Mystics, especially after their ass beating that they just got from the Atlanta Dream. Brittany Sykes, of course, 10-8. That's going to be one of the more comfortable GPP option, not even GPP, one of the more comfortable studs we can just purely go to on today's slate. We know that she has the upside to drop 40, 45 fantasy points on any given night. And what better matchup spot than going up against Chicago Sky, who are bleeding fantasy points to opposing point guards when it comes down to it. Brittany Sykes, love it. Definitely would go right here if you're going to play up for a Caitlin Clark, if you're not going to pay up for a Veronica Burton, well, if you're not going to pay down for Veronica Burton, or you're not going to worry about trying to play like a Skylar Diggins-Smith, a Jackie Young, or something like that, Brittany Sykes just makes sense in this matchup going up against Chicago. Decent total in this game right here. Should be the second highest total, if I'm not mistaken. No, actually, it's sitting at one of the lower totals. The lowest total, 155. What? That's crazy. That is crazy. Must be just attributed to the Washington Mystics side and their defense and how they don't even kind of play slow. That's crazy. But opposing guards going up against Chicago Sky. We just saw Alicia Gray, 31.75 fantasy points. Sabrina dropped 47.75 fantasy points versus them out there. Paige Becker dropped 44.25 fantasy points versus them. Kelsey Plum, 44 fantasy points. The upside is definitely going to be there for Brittany Sykes to be able to get in the lane, do what she does. Both teams, they do like to run. Sykes, we know she will get downhill. She'll play downhill. And with the way that Chicago turns over the ball, this could be a sneaky 3 steal, maybe a block type game for Sykes. And honestly, I just love the upside. Outside of Sykes, Kiki is amazing. Down game last time going up against Atlanta. She couldn't get shit going, 2 of 9 from the field. But hey, Kiki is still a good player. I do believe that we can get a double-double in this spot going up against Chicago. I think she's going to definitely play up to the competition, especially going up against Angel Reese out here in this spot. I like it. 8,800, decent price tag. The only thing that we got to worry about is the fact that all their bigs are now pretty much healthy over here for Washington. So we are seeing Austin getting more minutes. We are seeing them trying to work Aaliyah Edwards into the fold. They're still giving Emily Inkster a run and stuff like that. So that's the only problem with Kiki. Definitely makes her more GPP worthy when it comes down to it on the slate, but I would not count her out. Citron, another one that's she's there. 7,600, not necessarily what I want to pay or what I want to get to. If I'm going to anyone over here on Washington, it's going to be Sykes, it's going to be Kiki, will be the main two I want to get to, not necessarily looking in that direction. Honestly, everyone after Kiki, I don't have too much interest in. Shakira Austin will be the only one just because I know her minutes are slowly ticking up and she is seeing more and more burn. As it goes on, like literally 19 minutes, 4 10 from the field. Just not an efficient shooting night, but still, she went out there 21 points, 25 fantasy points. If you tell me that she can go out here and play 25 minutes or something like that, 22, 23, then the upside. Kevin Durant wanted to go to the Knicks, but they weren't interested in making Spurs Rockets his preferred destination. Oh my God, I'm so tired of the Kevin Durant saga, drama, and all that bull crap. But anyway, Shakira Austin, I like the upside, like possibility for it. I know that she's not going to start anytime soon, but she is one of the first bigs off the bench over there for them. They'll yank Dolson. They'll go ahead and put her in there. And we have seen it. Centers, they've been able to have big games, big days going up against Chicago. Outside of that, again, I'm not looking at anything else over here. Everyone else is just mid when it comes down to it. On the flip side of things, looking over here, Angel Reese, I just talked about it, coming fresh off of the triple-double for her. And she's played pretty decent last season going up against Washington. Granted, completely different team in regards to how they're running stuff. But Breanna Stewart went out here and dropped 45.75 fantasy points versus this Washington team. Outside of Stewie being able to have some decent games and Alyssa Thomas, Asia Wilson, the only thing that we have to worry about with Angel Reese, the upside is there for her, especially because she's playing point forward. She just has to make some of her shots. That's the only thing that truly scares me when it comes down to Angel. She is not efficient like that unless she is getting her quote-unquote me bounds out there. We know she has the double-double in her. We know it. She can go out there and get it. All these cheeky where she's missed it by one rebound, things like that, that's bull, honestly. And stat keeper, screw you because you could give her that damn rebound. But it's the assist upside that we're seeing from her, and it makes her well worth it, a GPP option and in play. Outside of that, Atkins going up against a former team. If you want to believe the revenge narrative, go right ahead. I don't mind it, but I will say I have no interest necessarily in trying to play Atkins here in this spot. I just don't. Yes, she still is taking double-digit shot attempts. Yes, she could potentially pop off versus them, but 9,100, I can't pay that price tag for her. I just can't do that to myself. Cardoso is coming off of a very weak, horrible game last time out. 25 minutes, 19.25 fantasy points after having a big game. Typically, you don't go back to Cardoso back-to-back games. I made a mistake and went to her. I thought she could have had a much bigger day. She could have. But Cardoso, GPP option, AK, if you're not trying to pay it for Angel, Cardoso could potentially go out here and have a decent game at will. If you think Cardoso gets herself into foul trouble, then it's going to be Elizabeth Williams that you want to look to, who will see quite a bit of those backup run, those minutes right there. Definitely be something I can get to. Rebecca Allen is still in the starting lineup over here for Chicago. The only thing with Allen, she ain't making no shots, man. She's out there. She's getting the run, but the shots are not falling. And I said it before, and I'll say it again. You can play Allen because one of these slates, she's going to knock down the shots. She's going to be the difference maker. She's going to be at like sub to 1% ownership and just have that big game. You're playing multiple lines. You're looking for a decent value to get off of some of the other values that are on today's slate. I wouldn't mind taking a Rebecca Allen as a swing potentially. Haley Van Lith, she's coming off a big game. 24 minutes finally. Put it kind of together. 16 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist. If she could stay like into the 20 range and continue to string together those good games, no questions that she will end up being the starting point guard, which I hope that's going to come eventually sooner or later down the pipeline. So the upside for Haley, it's there. It's there. GPP, though, only because she is coming off the bench and not what I'm going to plant my flag on and try to get to over there for her. All right. So that's going to be it from the Washington versus Chicago. Going on to what I personally believe is going to be the game of the night. Golden State Valkyrie taking on the Dallas Wings. The total in this game is sitting at 164.5. This is the second highest total on the slate behind the Connecticut and Indy. And the spread is a 4-point spread in favor of Dallas. Why it's in favor of Dallas when I've continuously seen, and I mean this so much, continuously have seen Golden State go toe-to-toe with some good teams. Legit play some killer ball out here. I cannot believe that you actually have my Dallas Wings favored in this position and spot. Speaking of Dallas, we just signed 2 players again, but I'll talk about that in a second. Unfortunately, one of them is not going to be on the slate because DraftKings already created this. Go to say Valkyrie side. Golden State, Dallas Wings side, technically. Veronica Burton, Kayla Thornton, Mo Billings, all those guys, they played for us prior. And I imagine, of course, Billings should get slid into the starting lineup for Fact Bentley since she's not there. I highly doubt they're going to start Bibby. I highly doubt that Bibby's going to get that start. And then, of course, Amir did play 15 minutes in that last game. I doubt that she would get the start. It should be Mo Billings, especially depending on if we run out like Amisha Hines-Allen at the center spot and let Nalissa come back into the starting line. So it should be Billings there. I don't mind all 3 of these players, but I will say Dallas, we give up a ton of assists. Veronica Burton, she doesn't have to worry about Van Loo. She doesn't have to worry about Letty trying to steal those assists from her. She doesn't have to worry about Salon getting those assists and those things like that. Veronica Burton at 8,400. I love the upside for what she is bringing, the defensive intensity that she has, the playmaking that she is showing, and the aggressiveness to want to go out there and score. And hey, go ahead and give it to your old team. She has not started yet going up against Dallas before when she was when she left last season, because she did play on Connecticut last year. So the upside for Veronica, I do think it's definitely there. 8,400 is a safe play and option for me that I don't mind getting to. Outside of Burton, we know Dallas has just been bleeding points, bleeding rebounds, bleeding everything to opposing forwards. Kayla Thornton, and I said it over and over again, when the scoring follows Thornton, she is going to be Thornton God once again. And we've seen it back to back, 40, 37, 45 fantasy point outings, double in all of them, over 15 points in all 3 of those games. And it's no coincidence. This started, of course, Salon left. Who was it? One of their other forwards left. I can't even think of it off the top of my head right now. But as those other players are leaving to go ahead and do their overseas stuff, the usage, everything is ticking up over and over again for Thornton, and she's looking good. The 3 ball is flowing. She's confident in that shot. She is crashing the glass like crazy out there. Only thing she's missing now, give me those defensive stats that you normally give us, and it's going to just be straight to the moon. 8,100, love the upside for Kayla Thornton here. The ceiling is going to be there. I'm not surprised for another 35 plus fantasy point outing from her here for the spot. And looking at it, let me see if Prize Picks finally has her fantasy points or anything up for her on the slate now, because I don't think that it was up yesterday when I was looking. But Kayla Thornton right now over on it's 28 fantasy points. Love that right there for her. I don't see how she doesn't finish the night with at least 32, 35 fantasy points over there. So that definitely will be a play that I would take on Prize Picks. Outside of that, the only other thing that we do have to worry about is if Hayes is going to actually be back. If Hayes is back, I will say then I will favor Thornton over Burton if Hayes is back, because they eat. So it's one of 2 things. They can put Hayes back into the starting lineup, or they can have Hayes come off the bench. The last time they did that, where Hayes was available to play and come off the bench, she didn't play at all. So that's the only other thing that you got to worry about, especially, I mean, Golden State is shorthanded technically, but that's the only thing. I know Ariel Powers is there, Talbot is there, Kate Martin is there. Kate Martin and Talbot are the only other 2 besides Amir that are actually playing some decent minutes for them off the bench. AP, she played 3 minutes that last game. Granted, that might be just because she's new to the team still. I'm not too sure about that. But I would prioritize Talbot and Kate Martin if I'm looking for some decent value to get over here. This game is the nut spot. I wouldn't be surprised at the high ownership that's going to come from the players in this one. Now, on the Dallas Wings side, I just said that Dallas did just pick up 2 more players. So we brought back, we're bringing back, let me pull the tweet up because I was just looking at it. So we are bringing back Charles. Kalani Charles is back. Outside of Charles, we also, for whatever reason, picked up Haley Jones. Haley Jones signed a hardship contract with Dallas. I don't know how to feel about that. I really don't know how to feel about that. Like Haley, she's long, she's lanky, she is a big guard out there. She can definitely defend pretty decently. But I watched Haley Jones on Atlanta for a hot minute and really had some high hopes for her. Granted, it might have been just because she was being coached by Tanisha Wright that I didn't see the upside for her over there. But yeah, no, I don't know how to feel about that. Like, that's crazy. Are we truly getting ready for the departure of Enrique? Is that really what my team is trying to let me know now, that Enrique is not a part of the future? Which I really don't think Enrique is going to be a part of the future, man. She's not. But looking at it over here on the Dallas Wing side of things, Paige Becker, Paige. Like, Paige has a shiny new toy. Paige has a shiny new toy, and none other than Lee. We have a center. We have a true, actual center that has upside. And she's so sweet. She's one of the sweetest people I've ever heard in any of her interviews and stuff like that. Like, she's so innocent with all the stuff that she says. And I just love the upside, the potential. She plays pretty hard. I don't feel like I'm going to have to continue to look at somebody that's just like, oh, I'm not getting the ball. Like what we were seeing with Big T. This is just, it's big. It's huge. It's huge as a Dallas Wings fan to actually see a building piece, a building block that makes sense over here for us. Now, if we can keep her engaged, and actually get her the ball, the upside is there for her. Now, we've seen what happens when Lee Yuri gets minutes. Earlier this season, when she played going against the Phoenix Mercury, she played 22 minutes, dropped 17 fantasy points in that game. I'm not going to say she's going to come out here in her first debut. And yes, I am. I don't see how she doesn't play 20 to 25 minutes tonight. I just don't. We are down in short bigs. Even though you just signed Haley Jones and you bought Charles back, those are guards. Those are guards. Maddie is out. Misha Hines-Allen is going to start. Nalissa Smith or Lee, one of those two are going to have to start. You got one technically true big that you're going to keep having to rotate. Dejanay Carrington's already playing the 3. Paige and Enrique, those are your 2 out there. So you got Zaza and you got Quinterly. And both their minutes have been just yo-yoed up and down. Now you're bringing in Haley Jones to add to the mix of that right there. And then you brought back Charles. We need more forwards. We need more bigs. Like, that's just what it boils down to. I don't see how you don't start your lineups going ahead and just locking in Lee Yuri. I have just 110,000% that Lee is going to play significant minutes tonight. I don't see any other option or choice for it. Like, that's just it. Now, outside of her, I know I kind of went on a tangent going left into Lee, but Paige Becker, 11-1. This is another one of your GPP pivot options you can get to. She's shown it. Like, her game is there. It's definitely there. She's ready for the moment. She's ready for the limelight. And the big thing that is good that I'm really noticing, her minutes. She's practically on the court the whole damn game. She's practically just out there and just doing everything. She's constantly touching the ball on majority of the trips down the court. She's looking for players. She's definitely picking her spots pretty wisely. And I think that with some of the fall off in regards to the players that Golden State has lost, I'm not going to say that their defensive intensity is going to fall off, but I do think that the upside will still be there for her. Now, Rika, on the flip side of things, she is your ultimate GPP option and pivot, because I don't know what Enrique we're going to get. Are we going to get 40, 50 fantasy point outing Enrique? Or are we going to get 18, 16 Enrique? It's hard for me to gauge that for her. I do like her as a GPP pivot, just for the upside and the potential. I will say that opposing guards versus Golden State, last couple of games, it's been very much mid for what you can get. One of the 2 guards will be able to have a good day. It's either going to be Paige or it's either going to be Enrique. Now, we'll say opposing ones have done much better, which that is going to be Paige. Skylar just dropped 32 fantasy points versus them. Kelsey Plum dropped 42. Chelsea Gray in 28 minutes dropped 22 fantasy points. Courtney Williams, she dropped 38 fantasy points. So that does make me lean more towards Paige than it would lean towards trying to play Enrique. But again, who am I going to focus on more when it comes down to defensive intensity, the matchup, things like that? That's where we're going to have to make the choice. I do like the upside for Enrique, again, GPP option, but I do like the safety of Paige, especially with those minutes. Dejanay carrying 9,400, that's really honestly just a bit too much for me to want to play and lock in, especially when she's kind of hovering towards that Chelsea Gray, Jewel Lloyd, and Jackie Young price, where I can get to one of those guys instead and know that they're going to have more upside. She's the 3rd option over here on this team, and shit, she might fall down to the 4th one, depending on how involved they can get Lee Yuri into this over here for them. Any questions? Anything for me in the comments section? Nope. All right. Hey, we're going to keep it rolling, man. I like it. Make sure you guys drop a like on the video. You guys enjoying it. Let me know. Let me know. All right, so Las Vegas Aces taking on Minnesota Lynx. This right here, the Lynx just have to win this game, and they win the West. Like, that's it. They just got to win. It doesn't matter if LA wins their game, unless the Lynx somehow drop this to the Aces, which Aces are about to lose another game. Aces, Aces are really about to lose another game, man. That's crazy. To go from just being so high up on the pedestal to just falling as far as the Aces have fallen is crazy. So for me, looking at it, A'ja Wilson, she's already been ruled out. We know it's going to be kind of a three-headed usage monster in Jackie Young, Chelsea Gray, Jewel Lloyd. Jackie Young at 10-4. I do think this is going to be a tougher matchup for her going up against the likes of Kayla McBride, Nafisha Collier, the defenders that you can and will be able to throw at her in the spot. I don't necessarily like paying that much, especially at the guard spot at the 10-4. When I can get to a Paige, I can get to an Enrique, I can get to a Caitlin Clark, Skylar Diggins-Smith, what is her name? Brittany Sykes. I can go to those players instead. That to me just screams that Jewel Lloyd more than likely will be a lower owned piece, an option that you can get to. But she's going to be one of the main pieces that you're going to want to be keying in. A lot of people tend to, and they flocked to Jackie Young, who went out there and she flopped in that last game going up against Phoenix. Only 28 fantasy points in 32 minutes. Really would have expected more from her. She's played well going up against Minnesota, but that was with A'ja Wilson being out there on the court. Jackie is technically their best player that they have out there. I think the defensive idea and everything is going to be towards stopping Jackie. I would not be surprised if this game somehow blows out because I don't see how the Aces have enough to keep up with Minnesota, especially after what I just saw Minnesota do versus the Sparks. I'm not saying that the Sparks are otherworldly in regards to being a great team, but you got Kelsey Plum, Derek Hamby, Azurá Stevens, Rakia Jackson. That's a decent squad. And the Lynx made them look like they were the Dallas Wings. Like, that's crazy. Chelsea Gray, 9,500. I do not think I can pay that much for that. Now, I get it. Point guard, 17 shots in that last game, 42 fantasy points. Definitely should have the matchup going up against a Courtney Williams. She could definitely cook Courtney Williams when it comes down to it out there. But I don't necessarily think that I want to flock there. If I do have to choose between Jackie Young, Jewel Lloyd, and Chelsea Gray, I would say I probably would end up going with Chelsea Gray just simply because the matchup. She's dealing with Courtney Williams. I know Courtney Williams can be pesty, Natasha Heineman can be pesty, but when I look at it, Kelsey Plum versus Minnesota, even with a blowout, 29.75 fantasy points. Enrique, that was one of her games. I think, no, for a fact, Paige did not play in that game. Enrique was still running the one. Enrique dropped 45.25 fantasy points. Skylar Diggins-Smith, 30.25 fantasy points. Veronica Burton, 33.25. She still needs to drop 40 at that 9,500 price tag, but I think the route and the avenue for Chelsea Gray, for everything that she's going to be able to do, she's rebounding the ball pretty well. She is going to have to go out here and score a good chunk of her points. They can come from her getting into the mid-range, and then if that three ball decides that it wants to fall, the upside, I mean, she's taking the shots. She could be in for a big night, and I wouldn't mind going there. Jewel Lloyd, I don't like Lloyd at all. I don't even give a shit that her price is 8,500. Like, it's falling without A'ja being out there. She's just relying too much on her scoring, and I could just throw Kayla McBride out there at you and just not even worry about it, or Carlton out there at you and not even worry about you like that. Like that's my only thing right there. Kia Stokes, her price being bumped up to 5,300. Hell no. Stokes went out there and she had a big fat donut in the scoring department. 14 rebounds was the only reason why she was able to actually do something in regards to it. But no, I'm not going to pay 5,300 for 20 fantasy points. Not no, hell no. Nye, she's out there. She's running some game, but 5,200, that's another one where that's going to be a no for me. Kitley, if they were to start her, maybe, but I could just play Lee Yuri at 3K and be for sure that she's going to give me a higher upside than Kitley. The only other one, and it's just because I think because she played well last game, that Becky Hammond might be like, you know what, fuck it. I don't know why I still have you on the roster anyway, so maybe I should just go ahead and start playing you. Look at Kirsten Bell. Look at Kirsten Bell if you're making multiple lines and you want a good GPP pivot and option. Look at Kirsten Bell. Just try that right there. Other than that, the Aces just look like shit. They look like complete utter shit to me. Again, it's going to be Chelsea Gray is your highest upside that I do think that you can get over here for them. Jackie Young will be right behind that, Jewel Lloyd, and then no one else. Like I can't. Kirsten Bell would be like a very deep GPP option that I could potentially get behind. Now, on the flip side of things, give her the MVP trophy now. Did y'all see what Nafisha Collier went out there and did versus the Sparks? At one point in the game, she had more points than the whole Sparks team had. She was cooking them from the moment go, from the jump ball. It was just out the gate. And if they still have her assist, because this has been something that I've been playing on the book myself, which I need to start giving you guys my plays over there on the books. If they still got Fee at 3.5 assists over here on Prize Picks, hammer the over on that. It's a goblin now. So I mean, still, today's Taco Tuesday. Hey, we gotta look at some props for Taco Tuesday. 3.5 assists. I will take that for her. She is 5 for 5 in her last 5 games, and I know it goes back even further than that for her. But besides even looking at that, I was really liking Fee's points anyway. I was going to use that as one of my taco pairings for today. That 19.5 points that they have for her to go ahead and drop 20. That was going to be one of my taco pairs for today for it. She's been very consistent, uber consistent. The matchup, no Asia out there. Who's going to stop her? Who is going to stop Fee? Who's going to step up and control and just stop what she does out there? Nobody. 1,300. You have a flat min 3K price player. You will be able to fit Nafisha Collier on today's slate. It just don't matter. 13K is still 1K too cheap. Nafisha Collier, love the upside. Love it for her. Now, outside of Fee, Kayla McBride, she's coming off of a down game. I want to say that was this last game. Yeah, coming off a down game versus the Sparks. I really thought she would have gave us a little bit more, but a horrible shooting night for her out there. Definitely you can spin the block back on her, but I will say that I like the upside for Courtney Williams instead. Will versus the Aces. Like that's where I said I was in between on it. Will played great versus the Aces in the playoffs last year. The calf issue that I know she was dealing with, she only played 18 minutes, but hey, they blew him out. Her minutes are yo-yoing up and down once again, but we know that that's what they do over there on the Aces. They tend to do that in regards to Courtney Williams' minutes. It gets a little fugazi. But hear me out. GPP option, the upside that Will could bring at low ownership. I can get jiggy with it. I can mess with that. I can, just a little bit. Outside of Nafisha Collier being a high play, Alana Smith, she's going to be out there, 8,700. No, what's her name? No, Jessica Shepard. So she should be out there playing the minutes. Again, at 22 minutes, I'm going to take it with a grain of salt because they blew the brakes off of them. I'm not going to be surprised if they blow the brakes off of the Aces here. But Alana Smith, just the upside that she should have. Kia Stokes is not going to be able to stick with Alana. She ain't going to be able to do nothing to Alana. The upside could be there. Now, I swung last time and I missed. I faded Peely, and I played Vidova. I went to her instead. She was a DNP in the game that I decided to play her in. Now, versus the Sparks, she played 14 minutes, and she was out there. She cooked them for 28.75 fantasy points. I'm spinning the block again. I'm going right back to her again here today. I'm playing her today. Correction, let me not say I'm playing her. I'm looking at going to her because, again, I don't see how this game stays close enough. Looking at it right now, the spread in this one is 13.5, the second highest spread on today's slate. I think that this could be a spot where we look at it, the value, and we can run it. If you're worried about Yuri, if she doesn't get the start, both these games start at 7, so we'll know what's going on with starting lineup. If you're like, hey, man, Lee's not going to start. If you got 1,001, you can make a little small pivot and switch. I wouldn't mind taking the upside for her over here, especially there's no Alana Smith. I don't believe that. I think they figured it out that you can't play Peely like that. I do believe that they figured it out. I do. So I do like the upside right there for it. Now, there was several props besides my girl Fee for her Goblin points or her Goblin assists, which it kind of sucks that those assists was at 3.5, like flat yesterday, no Goblin on Prize Picks. But those two would be ones that I would look to as your taco pairs for today. Love it. Fee is honestly one of my favorite plays for today's slate. Courtney Williams assist or Courtney Williams points is another one that you can pivot to on the flip side. I would take Courtney Williams points over her assist, especially if you're already looking at taking Nafisha Collier's assist. Then hopefully you understand what I'm saying. If I'm taking fees assists, and I'm taking Courtney Williams points. If I'm taking Courtney Williams assists, I'm taking fees points. So vice versa, things like that. But Courtney Williams definitely wouldn't mind looking at her PRA as well as the potential play as well. She has actually done that very well going up against Las Vegas Aces. We just got to get the Aces to keep this close enough, at least all the way through to the third quarter and some. So that'll be what I would want right there. But all right, we got one more game. One more game to get through. Seattle Storm taking on the Sparks. They bumped up Thornton's finish score. Dang, it's already got bumped. I'm telling you, I would take Thornton up to 31 and a half. Like I full-fledged believe that Thornton will go out there and can get you 35 fantasy points on today. I'm gonna say 31 and a half just to be on the safe side, but I don't see how she doesn't, man. Like that's still low. That's still low. McBride bounce back spot. Yeah, David, this could be a McBride bounce back spot. But I mean, I got fee all day, every day for me when it comes down to it. Swerve, what's the cash core? I got you at the end of it. And I'm going to tell you, the core to me is the most obvious core on today. The last three spots is going to be what makes or breaks you today. And this is going to be the exact core that I'm going to put up on the site. I'm going to give it to you guys at the end. I promise you. I promise. Last game real quick. Skylar Diggins-Smith and the Seattle Storm taking on the Sparks right here. This is NECA's former team. NECA has actually cooked versus them repeatedly over and over again. She is coming off of a bad game going up against Golden State Valkyrie. One prop play or play that I do like that you can take on the books would be NECA for her first basket. She has gone and hit the first basket in 3 out of her last 4 games versus them. So I do like the upside for a potential plus money play, a quick get it over and done with for us on the books. Skylar 99, of course, you can always go to her. We know that she is going to go out there. She's going to score. She can play, make a little bit. I do think that her assist chances are dropping, especially whenever she has Erica Wheeler out there in the starting line. I don't mind coming out here pivoting to Erica Wheeler, especially because Weezy, she would be out there even if the game was a blowout. 27 minutes going up against Golden State Valkyrie. She just shot really poorly. If we had a regular scoring night from her and less turnovers, she would have definitely paid off more than enough of value. And I had her on that slate that she played versus Golden State Valkyrie, and could have taken down completely first if she would have just had me a better night in my single entry contest that I had. Gabby Williams, she is also due for a bounce back spot right here. 32 minutes versus Golden State, 26.25 fantasy points after repeatedly dropping 30 plus fantasy points. Another player that I do like for Goblin assist, if you are looking at it over there on Prize Picks, if they put her up there at 2.5 or 3.5, I do not mind taking her as another play because she is also running really good in regards to being a point forward out there for them as well, especially with Erica Wheeler out there at the 2. Outside of that, Alicia Clark, no. Malonga, no. Brown, no. Cook, no. Ezzy Magbagor is your good GPP spot. Back-to-back games with 31 minutes, dropping 30 and 28 fantasy points. I think the corner might finally be turning for Ezzy. I told you guys, when she finally has that big block game, she might be able to start stringing them together. It's looking like she's stringing it together finally. Pretty efficient from the field, 6 of 8, 5 of 8. Engaging, getting the rebounds. One prop play I know I was looking at for her, and I'm on the fence on. They got her up at 7.5 rebounds. I'm on the fence if I want to take it. I'm really on the fence. Definitely, maybe I might look to taking a Goblin play for her, but a potential play that you can look to if you're looking for a potential prop that you can play for her on the day. Now, on the Spark side of things, this is where stuff gets kind of tricky. I'm halfway tempted to just fade the Sparks. Wnba, I think, would be your potential GPP true blow-up option, especially because she should have a high usage. Like, I imagine this should be point Wnba, and we've seen her do it before. She has triple-double upside. She had 2 games back-to-back versus Chicago and Atlanta where she had 8 assists in both those games, 6 rebounds. In both, but then also delivered it with 28 points in that game versus Atlanta. I think she can do something similar here today versus Seattle just because you don't have Plum, you don't have Sims. You're going to be relying on Barker and Ray Burrell is already ruled out too because she's messed up with her leg. I know you guys have another guard. There's no way in hell it's just Shea Petty. There is no way it's just Shea Petty. Shit. Yeah, Hamby, Stevens, Rickea Jackson is going to be your looks to over here for the Sparks. And it's really, if I had to put them in order, it would be Hamby, Jackson, Stevens when it comes down to it for me, man. Like, I still got to get a read on that Aces team. All right, so damn, they bumped Sykes too. Shit. All right. So looking at it for me, Cash Core, and talk to me in the comment sections if you think I'm wrong. But Nafisha Collier, the ceiling on her, especially what I just seen her do versus the Sparks, I do believe Lightning can strike twice. She's been very consistent. The playmaking of what she's showing us that she can do in regards to getting us those 3-4 assists a game. She's also rebounding the ball very well. If her RA is sitting at something like, I don't know, 11 and a half, 12 and a half, that would be something I can engage and mess with and possibly take, especially because the rebounding upside is there for her. No Jessica Shepard. She is playing and getting those chances for rebounding the ball as well. And then, of course, just what she's doing on the assist side of the ball. It's there for her to be able to go get a decent RA if they are going to give us those RA lines at 11 and a half, 12 and a half are right there for her. Let's look over on Prize Picks real quick to see. Whoops. Let's see. Fee. RA. Where's it at? 13 and a half. That's not bad. It's not bad. That's definitely it's like right there on the cusp of it, because I don't think the game stays close enough, which is going to be the only issue that I have with that one right there. Ooh, 7 defensive rebounds. I'm gonna have to look at her history for those rebounds. We got free throw. Whoa. Price Picks doing free throws now, field goal attempts, 3-point attempts. Let me see. You got the 11 and a half. Where is Alicia Gray? 5.5. I'm gonna have to look at that right there, because I was already thinking about Alicia Gray. 5.5 3-point attempts. Write that down. Look into that one right there. Alicia Gray's 3-point attempts, because Atlanta, they do take a shit ton of threes. That is typically where they do a lot of damage. And I do know for a fact New York, they do give up that 3 ball. They do give that up right there. Yeah, I'm gonna have to tap in and look at that. New York is allowing the 4th most threes for opposing guards. Alicia Gray, of course, she counts as your 2 over there. But that 5.5 threes, that's definitely something. That's something right there to look at and pay attention to as a potential play. Sabrina Nescu, Kayla Thornton, that's a little bit too high in regards to that. Do they have Kayla Thornton for defensive rebounds? Do we have one for her? 6? 6? Are you shitting me? Kayla Thornton for bruh. All right, let me go ahead and finish this real quick with y'all. Because I'm gonna have to look at those new stats that they got up. I'm gonna have to look at that right there. All right, so the other core piece for me is gonna be Caitlin Clark going up against Connecticut. I don't see how it's the highest total on the slate, high spread, of course. The 2 teams that have the implications to make it to the Commissioner's Cup is where I'm taking the stars from, if you guys have not realized that. So that leaves you with 7,300. You can get you another mid-tier option piece somewhere in the 6K range, which, of course, my player pool and all that will be posted along with my notes up onto the site very soon. Probably after I finish the stream, I'm going to go ahead and get that knocked out for the day, because I got some other stuff I got to do around the house. But you get one more nice mid-tier option piece, and then you can pay up for another stud in the 10K range. You honestly can with this core right here for today. Like that is where I would start my cash builds on today. Only thing that is going to hinder on is you have to pay attention to if Lee Yuri is going to get the start. Again, I feel very confident that Lee is going to have to at least play upwards of 20 minutes, like somewhere in between that. We have no bigs. She is going to have to play. I don't see how Dallas does not play her. And if we don't, that's criminal. There's no way in hell you can run Misha Hines Allen out there for a full 38, 40 minutes. Like, that just wouldn't make any sense to me at all. All right, guys. That's going to be it for me on here with this. That's going to be it for me on here with this. But I'm going to stay on. I'm going to be on my Outlier going through some props and stuff. So if anyone else has any comments or something like that, then feel free gladly to go ahead and drop them down in the chat. I'm about to check out some of these new props that they have up, especially the defensive rebounds that they just put up, because I really do like that, especially for Caleb Thornton. Defensive rebounds. I mean, of course, head-to-head versus Dallas, she hasn't gotten over that. Her last 5 games, especially with the players that they got missing, versus the Aces, she had 6. Versus the Sparks, she had 8. Versus Seattle, she had 10. She's not really going to be crashing out offensive glass out there. Dallas is giving up the 8th most defensive rebounds at 26. I mean, Dallas is just a piss poor rebounding team, period, if we're being honest. Or do we have Billings up here as well? What are some cheap value options for today's slate? Value. So for me, value is anything that is 5.5 and below. When you come down here to the value spots right here, if Alyssa Smith gets to start, that's definitely something that you can mess with as a potential value option if you believe in her upside. But outside of that right there, Lee Yuri, who of course you guys already know I'm pretty high on, Stephanie Talbot, her price tag at 4,200 is definitely something that I'm looking at, just because, again, Golden State Valkyrie, they are shorthanded. I do believe that this should be one of those games that can stay competitive enough, and she's going to have to play the minutes. 25 minutes in that game. Last time out, she dropped 17 fantasy points versus Seattle. Only the second real game where she's played those high minutes. She should be out there again getting some deep burn and run. I like her upside. Rebecca Allen, this is more of a GPP value option you could take at that 4,800 for her. Again, the shot's just not falling for her is the only issue that we have, but she's starting. As long as she's starting, she's going to be out there versus Washington, so I don't mind going over there to her as a potential play. Now with the news that Plum is out, we kind of have no choice. Where are you at, Barker? We kind of have no choice but to look at Sarah Barker as another play, just because she's going to have to be out there. There's no Plum. There is no Odysseus. 28 minutes last time out, only took 2 shots. She's going to have to shoot more. She's going to have to do something out here besides just be there and be a traffic cone. But she's going to have to be out there. That's another value potential play that you can get to on the slate, potentially to look towards. And then if you want to take a swing at a GPP option, of course, Haley Van Lith, if we think those minutes are going to stay consistent coming off the bench, that would be another value option that you can mess with. But if you're looking for safety, you're looking for the upside and things of that nature, for me, it is going to be Stephanie Talbot. It's going to be Lee Yuri, Sarah Barker, and the bottom of that list for me and as potential value. Any other questions? Drop them in the chat. Drop them in the chat. Drop them in the chat. All right. Angel Reese, 6.5 defensive rebounds going up against the Washington Mystics. In her last 10 games, Angel has a 60% hit rate for this one right here. She has exceeded 6.5 defensive rebounds in 9 of her last 11 games at home. Head-to-head versus them, she is 2 out of 3 in her career going up against Washington. That's good. On the 2025 season, she's 60% overall for that. In her last 5 games, she's 80% for that. Angel Reese, 6.5 defensive rebounds. That's another one that we could look towards as a potential play to take on today. I like it. I'm going to add that to the list. I'm going to add that to the list as another one for me to potentially look, see if I can't build out a ticket with. Do we have offensive rebounds? Because if they put up my girl Cardoso offensive rebounds, that was crazy that they keep putting her up at like 2.5, and she's averaging like almost 3 of them things. out there whenever she's on the court. Cardosa, 2.5. Bro, y'all crazy. Cardosa has a 100% hit rate going up against the Washington Mystics for her 2.5 offensive rebound line. Last time she played them last year, she had 5 offensive rebounds in that game. Let's see. Over her last 10 games, she has a 60% hit rate for that as well. On the season, she is a 60% hit rate as well, averaging 2.7 offensive rebounds. Her last 5 games, she's gone over this, and 3 out of the last 5, averaging 3. So Cardosa, stay out of foul trouble. Those offensive boards, they're there for her. They are there for her. I like that. 2.5. That ain't bad at all. Versus Connecticut, of course, she wasn't going to get it. She got herself in a foul trouble and really wasn't out there to do it. I know that Washington could be a decent rebounding team, but yeah, nah, I like that. 2.5 offensive rebounds. That's definitely something that we can mess with, that we can look to take right there on today's slate. Let's see. They got the 3-point attempts up here on Outlier. Do you have 3-point attempts? 3-point attempts. 3-point attempts. Let's get it. Caitlin Clark, 9.5 3-point attempts is the first one that sticks out to me looking at it on here. And then Sabrina Ionescu, I know I said I was going to look at it, and I wanted to check out Alicia Gray. She has a 67% hit rate head-to-head versus them. Let's see, on the 2025 season, she's 55% in regards to going over 5.5 3-point attempts versus she's only gone over in 2 out of 3. But I mean, this is a new year for her. Last 5 games, 3 out of 5. Sabrina, now that she has JJ out there, maybe. Head to head, she is 4 out of 6. Let's see, 2025 season at home. Ooh, you ain't taking enough threes from me at the crib. Oh, we'll fall back. Let's see, Caitlin Clark. On the season, Caitlin Clark, granted, she didn't play that many games. She's 3 out of 5. And let's see, for her home games, Caitlin Clark is a scary number, but 10 3-point attempts might be something to look at as another potential one to look. So show you guys what I was looking at. So looking at it, can't really use the last 10 because it's going to pull bullshit from last season. So instead, I'm going to go to 2025. She's only played literally in 5 games, unfortunately, but she's 3 of 5 right there. And then on the season, looking at it, out of those 4 games, you can see she's gone over in 3 out of 4. Head-to-head wise versus them. So this is going to, of course, pull last year's data for it, but she's 4 out of 6 for last year versus them. And then at home, she's only had 1 game at the crib versus Connecticut. Granted, this is a completely different Connecticut team, completely different. Apparently, they are 5th in regards to giving up 3-point attempts at 23.4. Majority of Indy's 3-point attempts does come from Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell anyway. So I don't mind as taking that one as a potential play to be able to go ahead and go to. So that's over here using Outlier. Ryan Howard under 11.5. That is crazy to even consider this as a potential play. Let's see. Head-to-head versus them. She's gone over in every game head-to-head versus them. But they are giving up a shit. Like, New York is giving up threes this year. Failed to see 11.5 3-point attempts in 14 of the last 18 games. I find that hard to believe. Like, so far on the season, she's gone on under in 7 out of 11. Let's see in her away games. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I find that hard to believe. She's getting at least close. She's 50%. This is one where I can't get a good read on. That's one I would just stay away from. I can't lean either way in regards to it. Granted, she's 100% for going under head-to-head wise. 100%. So take it with a grain of salt on that one right there. All right. Any props, any plays, anything someone wants me to go over? Of course, I love going through fantasy points. That's my favorite one. So for me, whenever I come over here, I typically shift straight over to the head-to-head. Of course, you're going to try to tell me that the head-to-head for Kelly Thornton is going to be bad. But again, she was playing off the bench and not playing as many minutes or the usage that she has going up against Dallas and stuff like that. And just looking at it, let me see, 2025 season game without Zamlasini, Van Loo. Like, it's just going to be completely different. I can't. I know what I'm seeing. I know what I see in regards to Caleb Thornton, so I'm just not even going to mess with that right there. But Gabby Williams on the year, head-to-head so far. Last year, she killed that versus them. On the season, in her away games, she is 3 out of 5 in that regards. Last 5 games, she's cooking 3 out of 5. Golden State, that was a flop. Las Vegas Aces, mid. Gabby at 30.5. That's not a bad one. Potentially one that we could look towards on the season, though. She's only 45% on going over 30.5. So, again, like I said, Cloud for her under 25.5. She's 100% for going underneath her 5.5, or 25.5 fantasy points. She's 60% on the year for hitting the under on that fantasy score. I also think just with the addition of having JJ there, I truly do actually like the under for her on this for today. Cannot believe Brittany Griner. Like, that's just crazy. Caitlin Clark, 83%. For Caitlin Clark numbers, if anyone is looking into Caitlin Clark and things like that, do not buy too much into the stock of what you're getting for Caitlin Clark, simply because that was a different Connecticut Suns team last year. Different, completely different. All right, I got some other stuff that I got to go do. My wife has been texting me here. I'm probably gonna hop back on with BK later. He had to get off because he had to finish stuff at work. So if we do get back on later on, you guys will see it. It'll pop up. Definitely, talk to me down in the comment section. Good luck to everybody on today's slate. I didn't see any more questions or anything like that, so I'm gonna go ahead and hop out of this.